G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different toy review though. Now of course, yes, if you remember my Malaysia 2023 toy review, I apologise though for the very rough and ready ending though, because of the time limit zone ranging from at least from 6 AM to 9 AM whenever I do toy reviews in the morning. And if I was very deviously early though, I would have been doing one brief one at around 1 o'clock AM of course. But luckily enough, I've actually decided to wake up a little bit earlier now. So with that being said, I think this is going to be a great start to what I'm going to be doing at the moment. And yes, I've got 7 Malaysia 2023 products. So I just have to correct the number of fingers that I'm about to show you there, guys. It's quite sunny outside, but it's not as hot as yesterday though. But yeah, it was only just like a wonder type day for the heat. I'm not quite totally sure if there's only going to be signs of extra bits of heat. Well, I don't think there actually is in the cards here, hey. It's just warmth, isn't it, hey? Just warmth. But yeah, there's no prolonged spells of hot weather, of course, which is kind of sort of interesting, but not so interesting in the way that you think of summertime here. But I'm not sure what to really say though, because I'm just looking at random bits of cars. Yeah, I think that's probably about it though. But anyways, let's just go ahead and do a massive comparison video of Hortney Courtney though, because I'm quite curious as you guys are. So if I try and turn the camera here, so I can show you, there's a bit of Chinese newspaper here as well. It makes it a bit easier to do a bit of comparisons, isn't it though, but not my face. So to compare this, I think the smallest ones, here's one here, which I can't really remember which set it was from. I don't know if this one's from like the mangoes and stuff though, but this is quite a very nice looking version. I don't know which one's the tallest, we'll see how tall it is though. Now, normally whenever I see Hortney Courtney in this sort of design, he kind of looks pretty tall. His beak proportions and his casque horn-like type crest is also kind of very reminiscent as well. Even the tail protrudes down. Sometimes the tail can be raised up, but most of the time it can actually be pointing down all the time as like a third leg. Kind of interesting in a way. Oh my god, sorry if I'm feeling tired, eh? But that actually is something. Oh my crikeys. What else do we have? The smallest variation comes from that Chinese dragon set, which is this one here. That's the smallest version of Hortney Courtney, isn't it? It's probably one of the smallest that we've got in this toy range. And here's one as well. Tell you what guys, it feels steamy hot and warm though, outside though, and although it's a tad cooler though, eh? Okay, so we've got this bird, and then we've got this bird, which is fairly nice to know, eh? That's a very spectacular looking one. I'm just looking around at various random stuff. I don't know, it's just just kind of, you know, just doing a very massive size comparison type thing there. Maybe if I turn the camera just a bit downwards there, and maybe you start to see an effective way of seeing a bit of chalk and cheese, even though you can't see my face there, because I'm a bit too lazy. How about that? Hearing that I'm actually lazy. And to actually sort of do a very elaborate size comparison, I think this one doesn't really stand that well though, and also it's got like white feet as well. Yeah, this one actually doesn't seem to be the best standing up type birds. It doesn't look kind of great. It doesn't seem to stand. Oh wait, it actually does, as long as you sort of, you know, pose the feet of course. This one here is the shortest, and that one there, I don't know which set it was from, or maybe it could be from that Indian Lotus Gardens set. I really don't know. This just did a domino for me, eh? That's nasty. So this one here is a little bit taller than the other one. There's also probably one of the darker and one of the blacker variations as well too. It's more blacker than the other birds as well too though. So instead of standing there, this one's a little bit darker as well. This one's a bit taller. And also look at the beak variations as well too. Look at the beak as well. And the beak is also a tad different in all versions of the birds themselves. They all look very different. And we'll take a look at this one here. this one here is probably far by the tallest version of Hortney Courtney. I mean, look at that. You know, you can definitely see how tall and massively elongated it also is. And also in the way the beak has been coloured in, it also is quite interesting as well to see how they've been rendered in a very big way. Yay, they actually look quite interesting somehow, in a very nice way, somehow. You know, I've actually been speculating so much in the way I've done with the Malaysia 2023 products. They're absolute amazing must-haves. I don't know how much I'm actually going to compare. So, this one here, if I try and do a comparison, I just don't know how tall that one is. Also, the beak isn't really that, you know, well proportioned as well though too though. So you're looking at the heights and also how long the beaks are as well though, and also how long the tails are as well too. From head to tail, it's actually quite impressive. I think both of these are exactly the same size and the same height / length. This one here from that very rough and ready water pack set, that with the red splotches which look like blood to me, is kind of, sorry, I've got a bit of traffic noise coming out here, but I don't know what's going on with my throat. Hate to cough here in this video though, but yeah, we've got this bird here. It's also far by one of the lightest of all of the, alongside this one here, it's also far by the lightest of all of the models that I can actually think of actually, to think upon, which is interesting. And it actually is something. Oh dear, sorry, got a bit of a nasty throat there because I was just sleeping. That's very typical when you have a fog in your throat after you've just slept. So yes, we've just got two different versions of Hortney Courtney which look kind of similar, although this one here is a tad shorter, this one here is much grapher, and also this one here has got much more of a grey sort of bar instead of a black one, which is a bit different, isn't it? Different in a very weird way. I think that one came from that, what's that one? Was it the white-throated kingfisher nesting spot as well? And also by taking on the beaks as well though, I'm pretty sure beak colour and also the beak length as well is also another one as well. I think the ones which will have a longer beak will also be, you know, depending on how the casque is also protruding as well too. That might probably have the longest beak out of all models. Well, Hortney Courtney though, and also the eyes as well. The eyes are also, in the way the eyes are proportioned is kind of funny. You know, it's seeing these different various versions of Hortney Courtney makes me a little bit, well, astonished, but also a little bit disappointed because I would love to see this model in a very similar way and a similar and repetitive way that I wanted to make though, but we just end up getting like different versions of Hortney Courtney. I'm not sure which ones are exactly the same sort of size, the same sort of height, but yeah, that actually is quite nice. If I compare this one here, that one there is far by the tallest and also far by the largest as well though too though, going by the wings and also going by the neck and also the beak and also the casque on the top. Although the eyes seem to be a little bit disproportioned. Maybe the eyes are probably the big con here. They don't really look that properly, they don't look that properly proportioned. And then any other models in general though. If I'm looking for a much more proportionate, a much more better and taller, better yet taller proportionate type bird, then I'm looking at this one here, although this one is a tad shorter than this one here. This one here seems to be, this one looks quite skinny. Whenever I see that, that actually looks quite, you know, pretty skinny by the looks of it. It actually does. Pretty skinny by the looks of that bird. And if I take a look at this one here, that there is basically, it's kind of weird. This one looks like it's a very weird mess because it's all done with oil, chalk pastels and what other, yuck. It's all covered in oil pastels and whatnot. And this one here looks like, well, pretty much the shortest. If I just slightly compare, maybe if I try and assemble them all, I'll try and do like try and sum up to see which one's the smallest to the largest. I think this one's the smallest, coming from that Chinese dragon set. This one here, which I think which one would have to be the next smallest, will definitely have to be this one here, or maybe this. So it must be that one there. That there, of course. This one's actually exactly. This one's much taller. This one's much shorter than this one here. This one here next. What else is there? That maybe that one there too. It's probably the next tallest. I don't know which one's tallest and smallest. I'm not really good on heights and stuff. This one here. This one, it's actually kind of a little bit taller than the other one as well too. This one here. No, I think that one there. Maybe if I try and do a slight preamble of a height test. That there is sort of smaller than this one here. And I think the largest, going from head to tail. Oh, that's weird. Both of them look like the same sort of height actually, although this one actually is a tad small. This one's a tad shorter, going by the cask height and stuff. Maybe it's just the way I fold. I don't know. It's just a bit debatable actually though. And also the tail. I think which one's got like the longest tail. That's actually a very good question though. Yeah, it's interesting. Going by the birds, by the looks of it though, it's a bit difficult to actually get that right though, because I'm trying to align all these Hortney Courtney models and place them perfectly though, to get them very pitch perfect, just to get them in a very nice spot and get that tail nicely long. And this one here, well, the foreground is the largest so far though, and also the biggest and the longest of all models so far. It's actually quite impressive despite the eyes being disproportioned. But and actually I think to look at the tail, look at the comparisons of the tails, I think this one here, this one's got like a much proportionally shorter tail, but by this one here, this one's got like a much longer tail. This one here actually is much shorter. I can definitely tell by the feet, you know, head to tail sort of length aligning via the feet. This one here is probably, this one's actually this one's longer than this one here. This one's got a much shorter tail. This one's a bit longer. A bit interesting when I'm comparing different, you know, models of birds, especially Hortney Courtney. This one here is a bit longer. This one here is a bit longer, and this small one here, I think, despite being the smallest, it actually has the longest tail, which is kind of funny. So that would probably mean this bird here would probably have one of the shortest tails ever though, which is interesting. Wingspan is a bit, well, I think it's kind of interesting to tell that the wingspan isn't big in this one here, well, nor that one there. So I'm just looking at all the different models of birds and see how big or small they actually are, which is very surprising in a way that they are. So fantastic indeed. I would highly desire to make as many of those birds like that before the end of the year, which is impressive so far. Sorry if the comparison video was much more rough and ready than what you actually thought, but what I did was I've actually done a whole bunch of analysis of the Hortney Courtney birds. Now of course these are all depicted with red eyes. They've all got like a very impressive, now of course yes, if you know from that trailer, that's actually quite impressive to know that the Rhinoceros Hornbill, which is the species that Hortney Courtney is based on, the colours are actually a bit different. This one here seems to have a mixture of white and orange. This one here seems to have a mixture of orange with a bit of peach and a bit of yellow. This one has got like a flamey yellow / orange on the top with a bit of peach on the bottom. Same thing on the other side. This is actually quite a good comparison video though. This one here is just entirely sandy peach, both the beak and the casque. And then we've also got this one here, which looks like it's got a bit of a slightly sort of greyish colour, but we've got like an orangey whitish mix onto it here. Hopefully it's the clearest I can get to. And this one here, there's a bit of, I think there's a hint of red, yellow and orange on the top, with a bit of orange and a bit of peach and tan on the bottom of the beak. And what's even quite funny is this one's also, if you look at the colour here, this one actually seems to be a lot much more in the way of grey than that of black. This one here has got black colouring pencil markings, but it's not as black than what you actually think. This here is the real deal. Same here with this one here, and that one there, and that, and also this one here too. Those 5 versions of Hortney Courtney are actually much more blacker than what you actually thought. So there's a bit of thing over here. But kind of interesting when you compare different versions of Hortney Courtney. And what's even funny is if I pick up the one from the Chinese Dragon set, this one doesn't seem to have any feet, which is, you know, white. So what we'll do is I'll just smudge all that whiteness. You know, I can just smudge the white feet, you know, from grey into something like, you know, into a greyish type colour. That's kind of, you know, sort of interesting actually. That's very impressive. Oh, that's something, isn't it, hey? Something. That's a very nice looking design, hey? And it's a very nice looking bird wrapped all around in it though. Now, I mean, it is the shortest so far in this toy range, but it actually makes a perfect looking model for what's to serve up there. It's a very nice looking model of a bird there. This toy here is actually quite interesting now. That's a perfect rendition though. For me, even though it looks quite small and short, it actually looks totally and utterly perfect than what I've actually done with other previous models. Now this is totally amazing. I have to say the one from the Chinese Dragon set is probably my favourite though. And I mean, which is your favourite version of Hortney Courtney? And also, going by the eyes, this one seems to have pinkish eyes. Some of them have got like purely reddish type eyes as well. It's interesting to sort of, you know, get into a very huge variety of different versions and models of Hortney Courtney. It's a little bit like the Lego minifigures, isn't it though? It's like with different versions of, you know, of a Lego minifigure and another Lego minifigure. It actually is quite stunning in a very interesting way. I'm not sure how much I could definitely tell which one is which because I'm just placing them randomly. So I'm just debating on which ones go where. Because it's a bit difficult to tell which set is which. Kind of funny, isn't it, though? And I'm always curious about stuff. Anyway, that's very impressive. That's very, very nice to know. I'm just looking at very carefully though which sets they would have came with. Maybe this one here. I mean, to me, I'm just so glad I'm doing comparison videos. That's just, you know, amazing there somehow though. And oh my goodness, I wonder where's the 7th product though. Did I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So we've got about 6 products by the looks of it though, right? And there's one other product here, right? Which apparently did I just miss something here? Is it this one here? Oh, this one's already got one inside here. That one there as well. Potentially, I'm just searching on which one is the one I've totally missed out. That's probably much more darker, isn't it, huh? I don't know which one is which. There is a 7th product here, huh? What about this one here? No, I think this one. I'm just trying to search out which one's which. Yeah, I've just added already that 2. So about 7, respectively. Which one's the one I didn't place the bird back though? It's kind of sort of, you know, very weird and interesting that there must be an 8th product here. That's very curious though. Surely there must be another product which actually came with this. What's going on here? That's weird. You can't have just like you know, 2 of them. That's just weird. I don't know where this one came from. That's a bit funny. Is there another product to it? It's kind of weird. I wonder why we've got like, you know, different versions of Hortney Courtney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's weird, eh? About 7 different variations. I don't know which one's which though. It's a bit difficult to tell which version of Hortney Courtney is which, so I'm just looking at underneath. And all they've got is already got like different, you know, various versions. Oh, I see. Hey, is that already being placed? No. Oh, I see. Maybe I could place this one here. It's a bit of a change. Oh, right. Maybe this one. Did I place the wrong versions? So I'm just investigating which versions of Hortney Courtney is which. Ah, I think. Yeah, it's this one here, isn't it? Though. So it must be that one there because it had like these red blood stains, didn't it? So, with that being said, that's been quite an impressive, slightly rough and ready, but not as rough and ready as what I've done before though, because I'm an absolute nutter making videos. Who knows? You might be thinking I'm just an absolute amateur of making videos. Well, who knows? But anyways, that's probably about it in this massive comparison video of Malaysia 2023, and I think that's probably about it. So, this comparison video has probably saved you from being pretty annoyed on saying that, I mean, you've just done it too rough already, and you're probably whinging blah blah blah. Yeah, that's probably about it in this comparison video. So, if you really enjoyed in this very impressive, well, sort of rough and ready, but very impressive looking comparison video, please give this video a like, subscribe for more Flip videos in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.